Okay, well, welcome. Welcome to Global Gaia and transforming and embodying the five universal mothers. My name is Leonor Murciano. For those that don't know me, I'm a doctor of body and mind and integrative medicine. I have a private practice here in South Florida, and I'm also the founder of Conscious Feminine Medicine School, the School of Conscious Feminine Medicine. And so I welcome all of you that came on today and that registered and that will be receiving the recording. And I think this is a really important time for a lot of us here on the planet. And again, I want to congratulate those that actually listen to the call within themselves to come out and spend this time together invoking and returning ourselves to rhythm and helping our planet to return to its rhythm as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing today and about Mother Gaia and the five universal mothers and how they move through us, how the places where we can dissolve the separation and really see the union of ourselves and the planet Earth that we live on, and the five elements that are contained within us, and of course outside of us. So again, thank you all for joining. I have little pieces that I've written as I'm composing a book about conscious feminine medicine. There's pieces that I've written here about our planet Earth Gaia and how to move and connect in union with the five universal mothers. So I'm going to be reading a little bit about that, and then we're going to be doing a process which is going to entail really opening our awarenesses and opening ourselves and awakening to these levels of consciousness that really exist within us. They're not separate from us. And so as we start to, or, you know, for some of you, it's just a continuation of your own evolution and awakening. As we immerse ourselves in these processes, we're able to really bring consciousness and, you know, be the vessel for these changes that are so needed right now. And so that's our intention, and we're going to do that, you know, through breath, through, you know, awareness of how this is moving within us, and also through movement, because there's an innate rhythm. There's an innate rhythm of Mother Gaia, and there's an innate rhythm of each of these elements in our own bodies. And so tuning in to these rhythms, restoring these rhythms, our awareness, because these rhythms are always there. It's we that have disconnected ourselves from the awareness and the consciousness of these rhythms. And so bringing our awareness to them and really starting to feel how these rhythms are moving within us is key to shifting our own consciousness and that on the planet as well. So, you know, as many as all of you know, I'm sure that you're here and you're aware of, you know, so much of the destruction on the planet, and, you know, everything from, you know, the hurricanes that we've just been through, that's still going on, through Puerto Rico and all of the islands, the raging fires, the floods, and so much has been going on. lately. This summer has really intensified. After the eclipse, we've really, Mother Gaia is really intensifying and really in this space of transformation and purification. And with that, of course, you know, there's a lot of sadness and loss and grief in this. And this is part of what called me to really do this call and the series that I'll be talking a little bit about afterwards, to really come in and, you know, take a stand and do what we can on the inner to be and support our earth and ourselves, really, because there's no, again, there's really no separation on these realms of us and, you know, our own planet Earth. So the first thing I want to say is that as women, I want to really set the foundation that as women, we carry in our wombs energetically, whether we have, you know, a physical womb or not, whether we are, you know, still in our cycle or whether we've already entered menopause, but energetically, we carry the consciousness of the womb within us, which is a transformational consciousness of the Great Mother herself. We, in many ways, we're able to transform spirit into matter. We're able to create something new. We have this vibrational frequency in our body, in our being, in our energetic makeup. It's part of our feminine form on this planet. So we have a direct link, if you may, or a direct connection with the creation of the planetary mother herself, not just planetary Gaia, but really the universal great mother of the creation of all. And so we have that link in our womb, and you know, we have the ability to really create a new earth, if you may. We have the ability to give birth to something new. You know, when we work on ourselves and we, you know, for those of us that have, you know, come on to, you know, the awakening path and have decided, obviously, mostly, I'm sure everybody on this call and that will be listening to this are conscious of and desire to become awake and awaken themselves to greater and greater levels of consciousness. And so as you know, as we do that, those of us that are mothers, we have done that, and then perhaps if we've given birth to our children, you know, we have given birth to a whole new generation of children that carry that awakened state already consciously within themselves. And so in that same way, we are able to consciously really, you know, understand that we have the ability to shift the consciousness. As we shift our own consciousness within, we're constantly bringing that awakened state to others. And it's not only through words, it's merely through just the vibrational frequency of what we're conscious to in our own being. This vibrational frequency, you know, goes with us wherever we are to the degree that we're, you know, in that space. You know, so if we're holding that vibrational frequency of compassion and love, which is really what we're awakening to, greater and greater levels of passion and love. We're holding that in our being through this process of our womb and the process of creating within ourselves and outside of ourselves. We're able to really bring that to our outside world, to everybody that we're in contact with. And it's not like I said, through words. It's really just through our own frequency, our own peace that we're bringing to others. They see that, they feel that. And to the degree that we're embodying that within ourselves, then they're able to actually, it's almost like we're modeling that in some way. And so they're able to tune into that and shift, you know, a lot of times shift from anger, from, you know, all of the veils of not enough, or, you know, issues with the self-worth, etc., into, you know, really experiencing the love and the truth and the reality that they are, because they can feel that you're in that reality and you're kind of giving off those vibes. So in many ways, you know, I just want you to know that this reality that you carry as women in your womb, you know, when we've purified our hearts, and you know, and that's an ongoing process to purifying and carrying more and more and more of the love. When we unite that love with our womb, with our ability to create and shift the consciousness, you know, that is a very, very powerful, powerful gift. And that is, you know, that is why we're uniting today, because we have that ability. And at the same time, we have that responsibility to connect with the highest level of consciousness that we can within us, and then bring that forward. Because honestly, we're the ones that we've been waiting for. You know, that whole saying, it's like we're the ones that get to incarnate on the planet at this time and bring through those changes. And, you know, and it starts with ourselves, our own transformation, which I'm sure many of you, you know, have been on, and then how we bring that out to, you know, our immediate family, our immediate friends, our community, and then, you know, to all different areas of the earth that may be needing that. So, so where we're going to focus that power of transformation that we have, where we're going to focus that today, is really discovering, uncovering, and awakening and embodying these 5 universal mothers, which are really the reflection of the elements, of the 5 elements that makes up Mother Gaia and makes up our own physical bodies. You know, so we're both the same. And that's where we're going to focus our attention to, because as we, you know, dissolve the veils of separation and really bring those 5 elements and the universal mothers into our own awareness and rhythm, and start acknowledging these places, then, you know, then on the outer, we're acknowledging, we're restoring the rhythm to our planet and to our earth. But it starts with our own physical bodies. It starts with ourselves for each one of us. And so, and each one of us has the power to do that. And so, let me see, there's a few, I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. And so, understanding that the great Mother Earth, Gaia herself, is a living being that provides nourishment for us on all levels. She provides the food, the water, the air that we breathe. And we as humans are also, as I just mentioned, made from these 5 elements. And we start to see these in, for example, the earth element, we start to see it in our structure, in our bones, and in the density and in the tissues. And we see the water element, of course, in our fluids, in our lymphatic system, and in our blood, and how that's coursing through us. And the fire element is really about the ignition and that spark of life and that life force and that Shakti energy that moves through us. And the air element is really our breath, provides us with our oxygen, which is needed in every single cell. And that fifth element that's a little elusive is the ether, and that really speaks to our consciousness and our awareness and our how we have consciousness and how the planet has consciousness. And this consciousness is like we're bathed in this consciousness, and there's many, many levels of that consciousness. And part of what we're awakening to is the levels of consciousness of Gaia, the levels of consciousness of these elements and the universal mothers. And that's all part of our makeup. That's all part of who we are. And as we awaken to these, and we're able to embody these and carry it consciously in our awareness. And it shifts how we move through the day, what we notice. You know, when we go outside into nature, we are able to, you know, have this communion and union with the plants and the trees and the water in a whole other way, because as we awaken to these deeper levels, we realize there is no separation, you know, and then all of a sudden you start to feel, you know, the rhythm of the water within you, and that shifts your whole awareness of what you do on a daily basis. And not only does it shift it so that we are in union with Mother Earth and taking responsibility and practices to protect, you know, our earth, ourselves, but we also get to be nourished, you know, in a whole different way. It actually allows us to feel this deeper yearning that's in our hearts of really wanting to feel deep satisfaction and love and safety and peace that we're all yearning for. And most of the times we're looking for it on the outer. And what we realize is that this exists within us. It's not about, you know, getting it on the outer. It's about really connecting with the source of it, which is readily available within us in these different levels of consciousness. And so in a way, we become much more nourished spiritually, much more nourished in our heart, and much happier and much more joyful, and empowered as well, because we realize that, you know, we have what we've been looking for, and it really exists. It's right there. It's a matter of lifting the veil that and the beliefs that prevent us from tapping into that, and awakening to those deeper truths that already exist there. So in beginning, we're going to be doing a process in a few minutes, and you can really do this process at any time. We're going to really connect with all of the 5 universal mothers and feel her rhythm, really start to notice how it's functioning within us. And we're going to do that through a conscious process of what I call conscious meditation. And it's a meditation in which we will, you know, obviously go in consciously, but not so much using our mind, using really our womb, our heart centers, and starting to really activate these centers. Also, we're going to be working with the 7 power centers in our body, but really activating this whole universe that exists in our body. And one of the key things in order to do that is really to listen. It's like opening up our awarenesses and our senses, but we're not listening to the outer world, we're listening to the inner world. We're listening and opening up to the subtleties, and to all of these worlds that exist within us. Listening is one. Also opening up our vision. Some of you might have already opened up your vision, and many times our third eyes are very, very open and active. And so what we want to do is really open up our third eye and allow that vision to surrender to the eye of our heart, so that it can open even deeper into the eye of the soul, so we can start to really navigate and move through those more subtle levels. So if you're someone that normally sees things outside of ourselves and, you know, sees different energy fields and colors, and that's wonderful, but also remember to really bring it and surrender your third eye to your heart, your soul, and the womb, because there's all different types of seeing in there, and we want to actually allow ourselves to move through those and awaken to those levels of consciousness. One practice that's very helpful that you could do now, or you could do it at any other time, is to use like a blindfold over your eyes, and you know, as you go into darkness, and you're kind of, in a way, you're closing the light and allowing your third eye to shift into a different space, if you may. And so you can use some kind of a blindfold, something that will cover the light going into your eyes and this third eye area right in between your eyes. So you can do that now as we're getting ready to do this process. And what else did I want to say about that? Let me make sure there's other details that I'm not leaving out. And so also, as we're doing this process, I want you to let yourself feel, you know, anything that's coming through. Feel your emotions, feel your sensations in the body, and even if you're having thoughts, you probably won't have a lot of thoughts because I'm going to guide you through this process, so you'll be listening to my voice. But if you're having a lot of thoughts, just keep breathing into your body and keep bringing your attention and awareness into your body, into your heart and into your womb. And it's also very helpful. We're actually going to be using our hands, which, you know, are great sources of healing energy for us women. And we're going to be using our hands in different placements on the power centers as we move through these. So bring your awareness. It's like you can hear the thoughts and then bring your awareness. We're not fighting them. We're not resisting them. We're kind of just bringing our awareness into where our hands are and bringing our breath to it, and letting the thoughts be there, but not focusing on the thoughts. And that's a really important piece as well. Okay, so I'm going to start our process. So allow yourselves to be get into a comfortable position. If you can sit upright, would be great. You can have some support for your back. It is helpful if you do this sitting up instead of laying down. And we're gonna, allow yourself to have some space so that you could allow any of the, gentle inner movements, inner swaying to come through. We're not in this particular introduction, because we're kind of moving and tapping into all of these different elements today. We're not focusing on just one. We're going to limit our movement. We're not going to be laying on the floor and going all out with our movements today. We're going to be experiencing some of that in the 5-week series, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But nonetheless, this is a very, very important process where we can, these movements are very subtle and these rhythms are very subtle. So it's not about imposing our will and how we think we should be moving. It's about deeply listening and letting your body start to inform you. It's like opening up to the wisdom in your own body and letting that inform you to what's moving, how these elements and these mothers are moving through you, because there's intelligence in these levels of consciousness, right? So in your own body, this is already moving at all times. These levels are, there's all of these processes going on. And so what we are doing, as humans, we're just tuning in. We're tuning in to how the mother of the ocean, of the water, and the water element is moving in us, how our blood is moving, how our lymphatic system is moving, how our fluids are moving or not moving. So we're just listening. We're not going in and imposing or using our will. We're actually allowing ourselves to be moved, to be supported. And we're going to find lots of little jewels in this whole process. Okay, great. So I'm going to start this process with an invocation. As we sit comfortably wherever you are. And for those that will be tuning in later on, let me find my invocation. Wonderful. So just allow yourselves to kind of come in to your heart, to your breath, closing your eyes, and just giving yourself this time to relax and to discover and explore these other realms. As I read to you the invocation for the Great Mother and Universal Mother. We are grateful to the Great Mother and all her manifestations outside of us and within us. We bow to the Earth Mother and ask her to root our souls deep into her body as we feel her strength anchoring through us, and clear the veils of shame and unworthiness that have lived in our beautiful feminine form. We bow to the Ocean Mother and ask her to immerse us into her unconditional ocean of love. As we replenish our own thirst and recognize ourselves as this very ocean of love, transmitting the unity consciousness of love to all others. We bow to the Dragon Mother and ask her to awaken her life force within us. As we allow her dance of joy to enliven our very being. And as we learn to listen to the deep yearning of our own soul's bliss as our guiding force, we bow to the cosmic womb mother and ask her to merge us into her mystery as we allow our hearts and our souls to deeply rest in her womb and feel the nourishment and safety of the Great Mother. We bow to the dark moon mother and ask her to annihilate us into our primordial essence as we dissolve who we think we are into the essence of our being and release all the constricting patterns of fear and illusion of separation. And we bow to the Great Mother and her multiplicity in the 5 universal mothers, manifesting as the 5 elements outside of us and within us. So just allow yourselves to breathe and take that in as we begin our process. Let yourselves just come into your body, come into your breath. And just begin to just notice, how that invocation has created sacred space around you and within you. Just notice where your focus is right now. And just notice what thoughts or emotions might be moving through you at this time. Become aware of your breath. And we're going to be working with our breath and different breaths of the elemental mothers, of the universal mothers. And as you're working with this breath, just notice the inhale and expansion and the exhale and contraction. Inhale and expansion and exhale and contraction. Notice your body and its sensations. If there's any areas right now of restriction, contraction, pain, uncomfortability, tension, or there might be places of joy and bliss and peace and comfort and safety. So become aware that you, the you that I speak to, the you that is listening now, is in this physical body, and that your body is a vessel for the expression of the universe, for the expression of source, of the divine, as it comes through you. And so as we open ourselves up to and invite Mother Gaia and the 5 mothers of the elements, the universal and elements, elemental mothers, into our body, into our awareness, because they're already in our body. We're going to start with the root center. And if you're familiar with the root chakras, with the chakras overall, the root center is also the root chakra. And if you're sitting, it's, you could feel it in your sitting bones. You could feel it in your right below your womb. You can feel it in, many times there's an energy point right at the perineum. You can feel it in your cervix. You can feel it in your pelvic floor. So all this whole lower area. So just put your hand in front of this whole lower area. Right in front of your, we would call your yoni, right in front of your, deeper in, of course, is your cervix, and an outer is the perineum. So this whole area, and just bring your hands in front of this area, and then allow yourself, just become aware that there's any sensations in this area of your body at this moment. And to activate this consciousness of the root center, first I'll say that this root center connects with our earth element and with the universal mother of earth. So we want to allow ourselves to activate and open this center. And for a lot of us women, this center is mainly closed, and we may feel it in our feelings of lack of safety in the world. A lot of fear comes in through here and exists in our consciousness. There may be a lot of trauma, personal or collective, with violations, sexual violations. And so, for many, many, many reasons, women have closed this root center. And yet, having it closed creates and continues the fear, because it doesn't allow us to really feel rooted, to really feel the presence of the mother, of the divine essence in our own bodies, in our own selves. So we want to open it, and we want to gently let ourselves open so that we could start to merge with the Earth Mother. So, so we're going to start with a breath, and the Earth breath is very simple. We're going to breathe through our nose and exhale through our nose as we have our hands over this root center. And as you're doing that, just let yourself relax in the root center. Let this root place in your physical body relax as we invite the Earth Mother to support us, to hold us, to root us in her. And let yourself feel the gravity that holds you close to the earth. Let yourselves feel that gravity. In your body and in your root. The gravity is the love that the earth has for us. It's an expression of her love and how she holds us close. So you breathe through your nose, in and out through your nose. And then allow yourself to really envision that whole root center opening and inviting the Earth Mother. And almost like as you open, you let your energy down and down and down, merging with the Earth Mother herself. And then receiving the support from the Earth Mother into your root center. So it becomes this this union with the Earth Mother. As you breathe in and out through your nose. And then you maybe start to notice the earth element in your own body, in your bones, in the structure that's holding your body, and the strength that your bones give you at all moments. And see if you can tap into the strength of those bones and the aliveness of those bones within your own body. And as you breathe in and out through your nose, you're inviting the Mother, Earth Mother, into your body, dissolving the veils of separation and opening up to union with her. Letting yourself feel her energy through your whole body. And notice what is her rhythm that wants to come through in your body. As you root even more, as you allow this exchange to happen between your root center and the earth. Maybe there's a very, 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 very subtle rhythm coming through that's not detectable on the outer, but maybe you could feel it and you can tune into it. And maybe you can feel your breath, the expansion and contraction of your breath in the root center, opening and releasing, and opening and releasing. Opening and releasing. And just take a couple of more breaths here, and then we're going to move into our water element. And so we want to thank and bow in gratitude to our Earth Mother for what she has given us in the last few minutes. And then we want to complete that, and you can always come back to that process. And we want to allow ourselves to move gently, rise into our sacral center, right below your belly buttons, right before your umbilicus. I mean, not before, under, about an inch under the womb center. And we want to invite the ocean mother of love into the womb center, which this is her element. This is one of the portals where we can connect with the ocean mother of love in our sacral. And there's a lot of movement in this water element place, or portal, I should say. So I want you to just tune in to the movement that the ocean mother of love brings to you. If there's a wave motion, or whatever rhythm, whatever movement comes through. And sometimes it's so subtle that it's not even moving you on the outer. Very, very, very deep within you. And that's beautiful. That's great. There's no right or wrong, and the ocean mother is going to show you exactly what's unique to you, what your union is with her. And that's very unique to each one of us. So as we're doing that, we can invite the ocean mother through our breath of the water breath, which is in through our nose and out through our mouths. In through our nose, inhale through our nose, and out through our mouths. So go ahead and engage that breath in your body. As you invite the ocean mother of love to really come close to you and merge with you. Leaving your hands on your sacral. Starting to feel the movement. And you can also invite your awareness of your own fluids in your body, acknowledging that we are over 70% water in our body. There's a lot of movement. The water, the ocean mother brings through the love, waves and waves and waves of love, which is within you. These waves of love are coursing through your body, through the fluid, through the waters. This ocean is within you, through your blood, through your systems, your circulatory systems, through your heart, through your lymphatic system, encasing your organs, through your veins, your arteries. And it's alive and moving. With the rhythm of the ocean mother. You can let yourself move as much or as little as you feel moved. I want to remind you it's an act of letting yourself be moved, not moving yourself, right? So we're in the being, we're letting go of our will, of our doing, and we're setting the intention, we're setting our will to receive and open up to the feminine act of receiving. And letting that expand in your body. That awareness that you're 70% water. Wow. It's hard not to merge with this element, knowing that you're over 70% water. Yeah, let yourself merge with that aspect of yourself, the water element, with this mother within yourself. And outside of us are all the beautiful oceans that she represents. And the water on the planet. And all of the life forms that she carries and holds within her. So all of the life forms in the sea, plant forms that are also alive in the sea. And so we're in the sea, but we're carrying the sea within us. Yeah. We're carrying this ocean within us. And then notice how the ocean rhythm kind of unites with the earth rhythm within you. Or they merge together in some way. And just leave it open to whatever you experience when I say that, without imposing any pictures or ideas of what that has to be or what that has to look like. Notice if there's any places of tension in your body, in your spine, in your neck, that start to dissolve in this merging with the ocean within you. Beautiful. And so let's take a couple of more breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Come to a completion with the ocean mother as we invite the next mother. And we thank the ocean mother for what she has given us, for all that she continuously gives us, and for our awakening to these levels of consciousness within us. And then we move our hands to our solar plexus, which is right between our sacral, our belly button, and our heart. Right between our belly buttons and our heart is our solar plexus. And we allow ourselves to just feel the fire, the dragon mother of fire, which is the fire element. And her breath is in through your mouth and out through your mouth. So we're going to breathe in and out through our mouths. And if you have sound to that, that's perfectly fine. That's great. We want to invite her rhythm through our whole body. So her rhythms are already happening in our whole body, and we just want to really awaken to that. We want to awaken to her rhythm. Invite her into our consciousness. And the fire element in our body really sparks all of the processes in our body, all of the chemical processes, the functional processes, all takes this life force, this fire, to be ignited in our bodies. And let yourself feel this fire moving through your spine, gently moving through your spine in waves as she activates your own life force, your own vitality, your own energy, in a way, is her energy. And she awakens us with vitality, with passion, with inspiration, with that spark of life. We could also invite our breath to do the rapid fire breath, which many of you might know, which is in and out through the mouth, but we're just doing it a little rapidly. So it's and that allows us to activate even more this fire within us. So you can choose to do that also as we feel the dragon, mother of fire, within our own bodies, within our own consciousness, within our own being. We can feel her physically, and we can feel her energetically. And see if you can feel the aliveness in the rest of your body, in your arms and your legs, the energy of aliveness in you. Kind of like a tingling vibration in your body. And so let yourselves just feel that for a couple of more seconds as we thank the dragon mother of fire and the fire element in our being and outside of us on the planet. And we honor her with reverence and respect. As we invite and move into our heart space, the heart center, right at the center of our chest is the portal of the heart. And in this portal, we have the element of air. And the air breath is in through our mouths and out through our nose. In through our mouths, inhale. And out through our nose. And just let your heart really kind of receive this air element. And the air element we find with the cosmic womb mother, breathing us, sustaining us through her breath, through her womb, where we can just let ourselves almost lean backwards into her into this cosmic womb mother. Breathing in through our mouths and out through our nose. Letting the backs of our heart portal rest, which usually open up into our soul. Letting that rest in the arms and the womb of the cosmic womb mother. Knowing that she holds us all the time she's breathing us. And we're part of her. As she sustains us in many, many ways through our breath, through our oxygen in our breath. And our oxygen sustains our body. Every single cell receives the oxygen and then releases what is no longer needed in our body. Releases the carbon, inhales the oxygen. And her breath sustains us, and we can let go and feel support of the cosmic womb mother holding us at all times. And breathing us. And let yourself feel the rhythm. And feel her movement, especially of your breath. In the inhale, expansion and contraction. The yin and the yang, feminine and the masculine. Evident in your breath. How she is the creation of all, and in the womb we experience both aspects of the energy, the yin and the yang, masculine and feminine. And yet, in between our breaths, in the moment, the pause in between, at the end of the exhale, you can feel the union. You can be in the womb, in the union of both, before the duality is born. There's union, there's oneness. And we become one with the cosmic womb mother in our hearts. And through all the subtle levels and portal in our hearts, we can feel this oneness. We can feel the consciousness of oneness. And know that our breath The breath, her breath, is every single cell, touches every single cell of our body, every minute of the day. And so we want to thank the Cosmic Womb Mother for what we have received and what has been given from her. And move into our throat centers, which allow us to connect, it's a portal to connect with the dark moon mother, the element of ether, consciousness. And through our throat centers, we experience the expression of consciousness, represents the expression of consciousness through us. Now, this element of ether is awareness, is all of these levels of consciousness that are alive, as the Earth Mother is alive, as all of these mothers within us are alive, they're conscious, they're moving, they're breathing, they carry life, they carry consciousness. And so we, as a vessel of this body, carries consciousness, and we express our consciousness, and we're able to focus and awaken our consciousness to different subtleties, different universes, different levels of consciousness itself. So we want to become aware that all around us is consciousness. We live in a planet that is alive, and all of its manifestations are alive. We want to become aware that that aliveness is within us as well, and that we have the ability to tap into those levels and then express those levels within us. That is what awakening is. And so our throat center is connected to how we express those levels of consciousness, which are also our truths, become our truths. Once we can feel them, once we can embody them, they become our truths. We can't deny them, and yet we have denied them for a very long time, where our culture has denied and is denying these real truths of consciousness. And so, you know, that speaks to so much of the disorders of our thyroid and immune and so on and so forth. And so, you know, each one of us that awakens to these levels of consciousness and then shares and expresses just like the moon expresses the light that she receives, right? The light is the light of consciousness. She receives that light, and she has many, many expressions of that light throughout her 29.5-day cycle. She expresses her light in many ways, but at the core, she is the dark moon, She is the vessel that allows the expression of light to come through. And so in that way, our vessels are the dark moon, bringing light and expression to the light that in our being, right? To this divine light of awareness, of consciousness, of ether. So let yourself feel the dark womb, which is really your whole vessel, open and ready to receive. It's like the whole feminine expression of being in that dark, space of just receiving the light. Just as we've been receiving the movements for each of these mothers, for each of the elements. And let yourself feel the consciousness that's all around you, supporting you, holding you. And that's also within you. And so for the sake of time, I'm going to let you just take that. I apologize. The breath is the same as the earth breath. It's in and out through the nose. But it's very, 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 very subtle. Very subtle. So that you can almost feel those streams of consciousness, of love, that's really in this whole matrix of ether is the love. And in and out through the nose is her breath, feeling the love throughout your inhale and exhale. And feeling that within your vessel, your whole vessel is kind of, in many ways put together, this matrix, this ether, holding everything in that love, in that openness, in that realm of all possibilities. Very similar to the womb, and yet different because it encompasses also our expression through it. And so then I want you to thank and just feel the gratitude for our dark moon mother. And then let yourself raise your awareness onto your third eye. And you can just place your hands over both eyes, covering the center of the third eye. I want you to just breathe gently into your third eye, letting your third eye really connect with your heart and your womb. You can continue breathing in and out through your nose using the ether breath. And then bringing your hands over your top of your head and your third eye at the same time. Bringing your right hand over the top of your head and your left hand over your third eye. And just breathing through the crown and the third eye. And letting yourself just hold and reset these two centers, which we also call the head womb. And letting it all come down through your body, receiving all of the light that wants to come in through that crown and bringing it down all the way through, all the way down into the earth, into the mother. And then when you've done a few of those breaths, let yourself just come back into your body. And just notice how your body feels right now. Notice how your body feels and how you feel. Notice what's different. Notice what you're aware of in your body. Notice if there feels like any particular aliveness in your body. Notice the movement in your body. And then I want you to notice if there is a particular element of those 5 elements that we invited of the universal mothers. If there's a particular one that was maybe a little louder, a little easier to connect with, that was a little more obvious to connect with. And just make a mental note of what that element is. And then, was there one that was a little harder to connect with and a little more challenging, let's say? Was there one that was more challenging? And make a mental note of that one as well. And these are the 2 elements that you might want to practice with a little bit, that you might want to invite and notice, not just in your meditation, but also notice these elements in your body and increase your consciousness and use the one that felt easiest and that you were able to connect more with. Use that element to really inform the second element. So you can start by, if it was the water element, maybe it's water and fire. And so using the awareness of the water element and starting to move with it and doing that particular breath and then, which is in through the nose and out through the mouth, and then moving into the fire and inviting the fire, the dragon mother, to come in and move through you and allow your awareness and to expand, your consciousness to expand of how she's moving through you. And then move into the fire breath, which is in and out through the mouth. So this is just for your own personal cultivation. And, remember that as you're doing this cultivation within you, you're also helping and assisting the planet. You're also helping Mother Gaia in her restoring her rhythm on the planet. And so, we're not just doing it for ourselves. We're doing it really for everyone. And because we're called, we are called to do this. We are called, and we have the awareness that we do. We're able to do this. And so let yourself really sink into this, and you can use this as part of your practice as well. On a daily basis if you want to. And you can do it by going out in nature. And it's amazing if you go out in nature and connect and experience and let yourself move, and doing it even in the ocean if you can, or in a park, or anywhere. It doesn't even matter. You can do it in your living room like we are today because the truth is it exists within you. But you can really enhance these practices by doing it outside of yourself, outside in our nature, because it's there. And maybe if you take walks in the morning, you can use these different breaths and again restore this rhythm within you and restore the rhythm in Mother Gaia. So I want to really thank everyone that that registered, whether you're here or not. I know a lot of people registered, and I'm very, very, very humbled and grateful that that you have an interest and that you're deeply listening to the call that Mother Gaia is calling all of us, and and for women, for us to restore our own rhythm that has been lost for so long, and to really empower ourselves with our awareness of the divine nature, of our own divine nature, and how it moves through us and the planet. And I will, and I also want to tell you that I'm going to do this practice in a 5-week practice as well, a 5-week series in which we're going to be opening into each of the elemental mothers and working with each one for a whole class, and expanding the movement, and really having an opportunity to do the guided process with me, but then also having a little bit of space to do it alone with yourselves, really tuning in and letting yourselves move, and letting this union really take place within you, with each of these mothers within you, with each of these elements. And this is not just, yes, we're restoring our own rhythms, and we're restoring the planets, but it's also in that restoration of our rhythm is really creating harmony and health, and we're restoring our health as well. Each of these elements, if you're familiar with the Chinese medicine or not, it doesn't matter, but each of these elements also have significant organs and organ systems relating to them. And and many times most of our disease and disorders are rooted in this disconnection from our rhythm, this disconnection from the harmony on these subtle levels. And then they manifest on the physical level. And if you want to talk about it in terms of the physical reality. You could say that most of the diseases and disorders that we experience are, you know, related to about 80%, or I think it's 84% with the last number that I read on the statistics, is related to stress. And so stress, you know, it's like, what is stress? Stress is many things, which we won't get into today. But the point is that stress comes from these places within us that are disconnected from our own divine spiritual realms. And you know, and so when we start to tap into the safety and the peace and the compassion and allow that, and the love, you know, they're all rooted in love, and this love, and start to shift our vibration, you know, in greater and greater and greater ways, then, you know, that has a repercussion throughout our whole system. And, you know, our whole glandular system, our whole nervous system, you know, especially for women, you know, the rhythm within those start to, you know, that whole system starts to be reset, and we can restore the integrity in those systems, especially our nervous system and our glandular system, which is, you know, so off in so many ways. So returning to this rhythm, to the moon cycles, to the rhythm of the elements within us, is really truly the essence of restoring our health, not just physical health, but emotional health as well, and tapping into all of those qualities that already exist, universal qualities of love, the safety, the peace, the security, and the joy that exists within us. So if this moves you and it resonates with you, I'm going to be doing the live version, the live streaming, for those 5 weeks. It starts October 7th, I believe, and you can go to the website, Conscious Feminine Medicine. On the event page, you can register there. There is a pay-as-you-can program, which, you know, brings it down to a minimal fee. I forget what that is. I think it was like $11 or $10 or $15, something very minimal if you can't pay the complete price. And if you can, then that's wonderful, because it allows, you know, other people that can't to, you know, participate. It allows me to continue this work as well. And that's going to be open so that you're going to be tuning in live like we did today. And it's going to be Saturday mornings, Eastern time, 10 to 12, and 2 hours, 10 to 12. Starting on the 7th, and we're going to go for 5 weeks, with the exception of October 28th. That week and that Saturday we will not be on. So we're going to skip that and then end on in November, the second Saturday of November. So if you would like to do that, you can. I'm also in South Florida, and I'm gonna be holding a very small group in my center, and it's going to be a group of about 7. And so for those of you that are in South Florida that would like to join me in-house, we have a few seats still open for that. I know a few of us, a few people have registered that already knew about it. So that's only open for a small group. And yet we're going to do, you know, we're going to have it live. I'm going to try to live stream it at the same time, so that, you know, those of you that want to do it in your home can do that. So that is it for today, I believe. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any final nope, I think I've said it all, and I really am truly grateful that you all are here, and for those of you that registered that will be listening, truly grateful that we're just stepping in and doing our part. You know, we all feel this great need to shift the reality of the world that we're living in, and the world that our children and our family and those that are going to come after us and are going to live in. And we have the potential to do that. You know, as women, a lot of us are being called to really step in, to reawaken our knowledge of who we are, what we're carrying, and then sharing that, you know, sharing that with everyone. First doing the work for ourselves, but as we're doing the work and as we're opening ourselves up, then being able to step in that and, you know, and sharing that with our families, with men, you know, allowing them to open up to the feminine streams of compassion and emotions, and, you know, and all of the subtle unseen worlds within them. And, you know, and it's all about, you know, creating this union within ourselves. You know, we're opening the feminine because that's what's been repressed for years, for the last 5,000 years. And so collectively, you know, we live in this, in the patriarch, and we have all of that collective paradigms that we're clearing. You know, so as women, we're clearing these old paradigms of restriction, and we're opening up and restoring the feminine so that we can step into the union of the feminine and the masculine within us, which is, you know, what we're all deeply yearning for in our hearts, this deep union of love that exists. So again, I thank you, and I hope that I see you guys for this 5-week series that we're going to be starting in a couple of weeks. Peace and much love to all. Bye-bye.